Bro, Sizzles, you have to check this out. You're so loud. What is it? Sorry, it's Mouse by Deluxe. Deluxe? No, wait. Listen, hear me out. 70 grams, Pixar 3335, wireless. Did you just say wireless? Yeah, wireless. It also has scale switches. What? By Deluxe? I know, right? It's crazy. And the best part is it's only 3.2K, bro. How? I don't know. I don't care how. Just review it.
Is touching the truth.
Don't mind the desk. Hope you like something different at times. Unwanted face reveal. If you're someone who's been playing games for a while now, if you've, let's say, started playing games from 2014, and if you've been keeping up with the peripherals tech, you may have known that some of the top mice from back in the days were the Detater, 100 grams, stiff cable, practically no feet. We were all used to stuff like that, and we all dominated the scenes with those. We used stuff like the G402, we used stuff like the G502. G502 was 130 grams with the weight and stuff. A break of a mouse. But in recent times, people found out that lighter mice equals to better. No wires. That's a new technology nowadays. We're all trying to go wireless nowadays with the whole wireless craze going on here. We're all trying to dominate the market and stuff. If I'm a new company, I'm just trying to dominate the market right now. During these times, with all the mice going wireless, lightweight, I guess you can say good mice are getting cheap and cheap mice are getting good. And the biggest example of both of these is a company which you wouldn't think of in terms of, well, anything, honestly. They really made some shit stuff. They just came out of nowhere and they just dropped a bomb on all of us. Deluxe. The M800. It's lightweight, 70 grams as Ishmael has said, 30-35. It even has scale switches. And how good it is, you may ask? Well, there's just one way to find out. We take an exam of the mouse. Let's jump straight into the exam and give this matter a rating. But before that, I'm basically gonna give you a TLDR/refresher onto what my whole exam is. Basically, the mouse review itself is gonna have different sections, and I'm basically gonna break down different parts of the mouse, different criterias, and I'm basically gonna mark it. For example, the box is gonna be out of 3, and that is basically gonna cover what's in the box itself, what we get along with the mouse and stuff. And then there's gonna be the sensor, on how the sensor works and stuff, and how the sensor is holding up. And there's also gonna be the shape. The build is gonna be out of 10, the shape is gonna be out of 5, etc. and etc. So let's jump straight into the review. The box itself isn't bad. It's sort of like a non-minimalist approach from the face of the box, but once you open it, there's another cardboard box inside, which basically holds the mouse, the cable, and the dongle inside the mouse, and some instruction manuals. One of them is in Chinese, so I'll give it a 1.75 out of 3. Jumping to the sensor itself, the sensor is a PAW3335 by Pixar. It's the wireless variant of the 3360 with power saving implementations from what I have heard. And it's a really good sensor, but it has a bit of DPI deviation, and you cannot adjust the liftoff distance without a firmware update, from which I have heard that it breaks the mouse completely. So it gets the job done. It more than gets the job done, and I think it does sort of save the power a bit from what I've seen in the battery life so far. So I'll give it a 2.75 out of 4. Oh, and not to mention there was no spinouts or unnecessary tracking issues or no motion delay, so that was pretty good. The cable, feet, and weight. I decided to put them in one single category since they all are sort of. I just decided to do that, so let's just stick by it. The cable is really good, and that caught me off guard. The cable is thin, and it has a paracord like style to it. Basically, the cable is thin, and it is very flexible, but it does not look too sturdy, so I'll have to remove some points there. But it is probably one of the most flexible cables I have. It might even be better than the 710, but I like the 710 more just because it's thicker, and it doesn't look like it charges the mouse too fast, so I'll give it a 2.5 out of 10. Or, sorry, 2.5 out of 3. The feet, oh god, the feet. Oh. The feet is bad. Or the feet is bad. They're Teflon. They're not rounded. Okay? And they felt trash in every mousepad other than X-ray pads. The only reason I gave it a 1 because the X-ray pad felt way too fast for me, and these feet actually made the pad feel decent for me. But that's literally it. Unless you have a very premium or fast mouse surface, you just need to change the feet. Honestly, it's just really bad. I'll give it a 1 out of 3. Barely just being there. Giving it a 1 because it's not the end of the world. You can get it done. And for the price, honestly, who am I to complain? The weight is really good for this price. Especially just in general, the weight is really good. I'll say that much. It's a 70-gram mouse, and it is ever so slightly back heavy, and of course it's wireless, and it has a battery, so I can't really complain. And it feels like a 70-gram mouse. It's a small mouse. If it was big and wireless and 70 grams, then I would have probably given it a better score, but for now it gets a 3.5 out of 4. No complaints there. The main point now is the build quality. The build quality of this mouse is one of the things that caught me off guard other than the cable. It's actually a really solidly built mouse. The coating is like a rough-ish style coating, but it like feels smooth too, especially on the buttons. The side grips are not rubber, but they're like this textured plastic, which gives it a bit of grip and makes it feel like hardened rubber, if that makes sense. But when I start sweating, I do sort of tend to lose grip a bit. The buttons themselves have kill switches. Amazing, they feel tactile, they don't require too much force, and they sound good too. But there's like very little pre to post travel, although there is a bit more post travel, but it's no deal breaker. I could never feel it in game. But the clicks feel okay. The scroll wheel could have been improved in my opinion. I just wish it was more distinct and had a more tactile feeling and was lighter. Other than that, it gets the job done and it's passable. The scroll wheel button it's not a normal click. It feels like the side buttons, which I'll get to in a second. But again, they get the job done. It's fine. The DPI button is a normal click though, but they feel like Omrons, so that is also fine. But it is like slightly lighter, so you might mistakenly press it. Although that never happened to me. And coming to the side buttons and the side flicks, there is no flex anywhere in the body, not the top, not the bottom, but there is a bit on the side. It's not flex, but if you press on the side, it's like right below the button, that you'll accidentally press the button, and that has happened to me, especially with grip tape. So you'll have to keep that in mind. And the buttons themselves are, it's not bad, but it's not a normal click, which is kind of weird and odd if you ask me. Which is still fine, but I'm gonna have to remove a bit of points there. Everything else is fine. The mouse feels nice to hold, but that's the shape part. We'll get to that later. So the build gets 8 out of 10 in terms of marking. Astounding, really just caught me off guard, honestly, the build. The shape. Now, the shape is more of an objective thing, so I didn't decide to mark this out of 10. But one thing I will say is that this shape will be geared towards a lot bigger of an audience compared to the Viper Mini, because this is, at the end of the day, a Viper / Viper Mini clone. It's like in the middle. So the shape is gonna be suited for more audiences, like especially if you consider me, who has 19 by 10 hands. I could very well claw to / fingertip this mouse. Whereas when I used the Viper Mini, I was having issues gripping it just because of how small it was. It is like slightly longer than a Viper Mini, and it's very slightly wider in terms of grip width. The height is also slightly bigger. It's basically like a very slightly bigger Viper Mini, but it's smaller than a normal Viper. It'll be geared towards more hand sizes, basically, and more people would prefer it, so it's always a plus. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. And the pricing is the biggest part of this mouse. A mouse like this can very well be priced at like $50 or something, or 5,000 takas, and people would still buy it because it's a Viper Mini Ultimate, basically. But the best part of this mouse is that it's just 3.2 thousand, or 3,200 takas, or $35 in US money and stuff. And it is just astonishing. It just proves that companies can make a really good mouse for a very affordable price. They just aren't for some reason. This is very well gets a 4.5 out of 5. Not giving a full 5 because of the feet, straight up. If the feet was good, this would have been a 5.5 out of 5 straight up. And the feet would have gotten marks too. But there is a catch. Again, Deluxe isn't a company we think about at all, honestly. Not just in general, we just don't think about Deluxe at all. It has some really bad quality control issues, basically, where some mice have Omron switches instead of Kales. Some mice straight up came with the Pixar 3325 sensor, which is pretty bad. Like, the box said it has a 3035, but once they opened it up, they realized it's a 3325. That has happened a lot. And I have heard a few quality concerns about the rattling and stuff. Oh, I forgot to mention, there is no rattling in my mouse, which is why I gave it 8 out of 10. Which had rattling, and I also heard someone complain that the charging port got inside the mouse, and it was like they had to open the mouse and fix it, which is a big yikes from anyone, honestly. So I'm gonna deduct 2 marks for that. And overall, it brings our total to 26 out of 35, which is a 74%. And so far, it is a B grade mouse, which is kind of surprising. And it's sort of also a bit disappointing considering the quality control issues and the mouse feed. The mouse feed was a big yikes for me and for a lot of people. So you do have to keep that in mind. In general, it is just it's a mouse that caught me off guard, honestly speaking. And yeah, this has been the exam. The Deluxe has passed, not with flying colors just yet, until Deluxe, if they fix the whole quality control issues and maybe their mice. And for now, it has passed. And in general, I would recommend getting this mouse, but
from a newer batch, because I have heard that they fixed some of their issues on a newer batch, and they did give like extra feet, extra shit feet, but you know, extra feet is extra feet. And that's about it. Let's jump straight into the conclusion. The real life Sizzlekins, you may take it from here.
Thank you, Virtual Sizzles, for taking that exam. I'm just gonna give my conclusions and my opinions of this mouse. At the end of the day, a mouse like this, made by such an unknown company, Deluxe, I'm sure half of you haven't even heard of that company, more than half of you. A mouse like this truly challenges the industry while it being wireless, lightweight, with a good sensor, a top notch shape. Admittedly, a lot of it is inspired, if anything, while keeping the very competitive price. It truly pushes other companies to go forward and make better mice and make their mice cheaper. For example, if I talk about Asus, who has their ROG Keras wireless with a similar size as this, that mouse costs like $100 in America, or it costs like 7,500 in Bangladesh. And if you, as you can see, this right here is only $35, and you're getting like similar performance. It truly does challenge the industries, and it also proves that something like this can be made at a very affordable price. So you're getting more than what you pay for, if anything, compared to what we have now. What do I think who this mouse is for? If you have a Razer Viper Mini, and if your hand size is somewhere in the medium to large group, I think this might be the perfect upgrade for you. Yes, you. I know you have a Viper Mini, you're watching this. This might be for you. Go buy it. But go buy it from a good seller who you know might sell the newer copies and stuff. So go buy it from them. One specific group of players this mouse isn't for are the people with big hands who play claw to palm grip like me. I play between claw and palm grip, and I'm always changing between them, which is why I always prefer bigger mice over anything. And my hands did get bigger or something, which is why I don't use the MM710 anymore. I could use this mouse, but I have missed quite a lot of shots because of it being very small, especially the grip is just so narrow. And I just couldn't get myself to palm grip it at all. Yes, I am a palm gripper. Thank you very much. You don't need to just insult me. Sorry. But yeah, that's all I have to say. If you're a guy with big hands, large hands, if you play claw grip, go for it. But if you're someone who's like a hybrid claw palm gripper or a palm gripper, I'd say you stay away from this. But other than that, this is a top tier mouse, almost. If Deluxe can fix their quality control issues, and if they can fix their, well, mouse skates, this is not the stock ones, by the way, I changed it up. If they can fix the mouse skates and stuff, this is very much a top tier mouse. And I hope they continue to do what they're doing. And I hope other companies get inspired by it and make similar products, because at the end of the day, we as consumers are getting benefited from all of these, right? So yeah, I hope you liked a bit of a different style video. I have the other one processing right now, what Virtual Ishmam just said. Sizzles, Virtual Sizzles. Ishmam is the assistant. And yeah, just leave a comment. If you're watching till this far, please subscribe. It really helps me out and just pushes me to keep going. Every subscriber counts. And make sure to like the video, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching it this far. And yeah, peace.